Today is Monday, February 29th, 2016, and this week we're in week number 8. So this is PSL number 8, which means we are really getting close to being at the end of the quarter. We have 2 problems for each day this week. However, each problem ends up being 2 problems in one. So for number 1, we're supposed to find the volume and the surface area of a sphere with a diameter of 2 centimeters. So we're going to start out by finding the volume of a sphere with diameter 2 first, and then we'll do the surface area. So first things first, to find the volume, we need to know the formula for the volume of a sphere, which is 4 pi r to the 3rd power divided by 3. And then the next thing we need to note is that we have a diameter of 2 centimeters. So if our diameter is equal to 2 centimeters, our radius is going to be half of that. So half of 2 is just 1, so 1 centimeter for our radius. So I am going to substitute 1 centimeter for my radius. And if I do 1 to the 3rd power, 1 times 1 times 1, I still get an answer of 1. So now up here I can do 4 times 1, which is just, so I now have 4 pi divided by 3. So if I wanted to bring this down and actually simplify the 4 over 3 for, how many pi are we having? 4 over 3 is a decimal, it's 1, and then 3 repeating, and then we're still times pi. So that is our number of pi. And we're going to want to find this to the nearest tenth. So when we put this into the calculator, 1.3 repeating times our pi button, we get 4.18. We obviously get way more than that. But we need to decide how to round this, so we're going to look at this number first. 8 is bigger than 5. So 1 is going to become 2. So our answer is 4.2. And we are doing centimeters, and volume is always going to be cubed. To do the second part of number 1, we're going to find the surface area of a sphere. Same sphere with a diameter of 2. So first we need to recall our formula for the surface area of a sphere, and that is 4 pi r squared. And recall that we had a diameter of 2, so if our diameter is 2, what's our radius? And it's going to be 1. So over in my formula, I can substitute my radius with a value of 1. So if I do 1 times 1, 1 squared, 1 times itself, we're still going to have a value of 1. So we're still going to have 4 times pi times 1. And if we do 4 times 1, it's still 4. So it's just 4 pi. So now we're going to go to our calculator, and we're going to do 4 times our pi button. 4 times the pi button is going to give us a much bigger answer, but I'm going to put the first part, 12.56. Those are the first 2. And we need to decide how we're going to round this. So if we have a 6 in our hundredth spot, this is bigger than 5, so 5 is going to be rounded up. So our final answer for the surface area of number 1 is 12 instead of 5, it's going to become 6, and then we're doing centimeters, but because this is just for surface area, it's actually only squared instead of being to the 3rd power. Okay, now moving on to number 2, we have find the volume of a sphere with a radius of 8 feet, and this one gives us a small picture of what that sphere would look like. So we need to recall that our formula for finding volume of a sphere is 4 times pi times your radius to the 3rd power, and then we need to do that divided by 3. And for this one, they just give us our radius, and our radius is 8. So if we are going to substitute our radius in, we would put it in for r. So now I need to simplify my 8 to the 3rd power. This means 8 times 8 times 8, which is going to give me a total of 512. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to multiply my 4 times my 512, and this is going to give me a large number, 2,048. So this equals 2,048 pi. And then we're also dividing by 3. So we're going to next do 2048 divided by 3, which gives us 682 0.6 repeating, and we're still multiplying times pi. So we're going to take that number and we're going to put it into our calculator and multiply it by the pi button. And when we do that, we're going to get 2,144.66, and now we need to round. So we're going to take a look at our hundredths place. 6 is bigger than 5, so this 6 is going to be rounded up. So our final answer for the volume of this sphere is 2,144.7, and we were in feet for this problem, and because it's volume, it's cubic, or to the third, feet cubed. Alright, our last part of this problem is to find the surface area of that exact same sphere, which has a radius of 8 feet. So we need to recall our formula, which is 4 times pi times radius squared for surface area. And the the question tells us that we have a radius of 8. So our 8 needs to be squared. So 8 times 8 is actually equal to 64, which simplified that. So now I have 64 times 4 times pi, and we can do 64 times 4, which is 256 times pi. So now, using your calculator and your pi button, you're going to do 256 times the pi button, and that gives us 804.24. So for our rounding purposes, we're going to look here. 4 is actually not 5 or bigger, so 2 is going to stay as 0.2. So our final answer is 804.2, and that's feet, but surface area is just feet squared. And that is your final answer for the last part. So put your PSL away, make sure you put it somewhere safe, and you're going to add on to it each day this week. Actually, Thursday you are not going to. We're going to make up for that, though, on Friday because of the way our ISTEP schedule works out. So make sure that you hold on to this, and I will see you tomorrow.